guys, this is our first programming walkthrough. We've gotten several requests actually for building walkthroughs for our creations. We'll get to there soon, but for now I thought, well, why don't we just do some programming walkthroughs? So here it is. First programming walkthrough of our Rally Racer. So as you guys seen the video, if you haven't, please click the card, it's up there. But if you guys haven't seen the video, I highly suggest you do so. Rally Racer is driven through Bluetooth connections of two Ev3 bricks. Now this is the first simple part. For the transmitter, all we've merely got is a Bluetooth block initiating a Bluetooth connection to the receiver. The transmitter is actually the brick, the remote. Then we've got merely putting the Ev3 icon on the brick, and then we've got this block, which is a my block. I've compressed it. It's called Transmit Drive, I believe. Yep, here we go, Transmit Drive. Please ignore these warnings and caution signs. I really have no idea why it is doing this, but I do not have any bricks connected. Anyways, so first we've got the touch sensor, and the touch sensor is the throttle. When the touch sensor is pressed, it sends a Bluetooth messaging block to the receiving, which is the car. It sends text forward under the message titled throttle, and it sends it to the Ev3 brick. When it's false, which means you're not throttling it, it sends the message stop under throttle, also sending it to the Ev3 brick. And yes, we've got two tasks running at once, and we've got brick buttons. Now the brick buttons do the steering. So here we go, we have left. All of this message blocks are titled steering. Then we've got the individual messages under them. And I'd also like to point out a special thanks to BuilderDude35's Bluetooth tutorials. That they really had a big part in this, and if you'd like to see him, please visit BuilderDude35's channel. You can click the card up there or wait till the end of the video. I will have a link to BuilderDude35's channel. Alright, they send the text to the receiving brick, which is named Ev3. So for the left brick button, it's pretty simple. Left, when it's neutral, it's center, which means return to center actually. Right brick button means right, and rear brick button means back. Now this portion right here, I have not proven it to work. It worked in my CTS Ev3. If you'd like to see that, it was also another Bluetooth vehicle I tested out for a short amount of time, but not for the final result. However, you can watch the Bluetooth video of it in the card above. And also, if you want to see the actual video, I believe you can visit my channel and find that too. So anyways, I haven't proven this to work yet. It worked in my CTS Ev3 as I already mentioned, but it hasn't worked in my Rally Racing. I'm not sure why. But anyways, I send the message back. Even though the title's under steering, I send it under message back. So now, if that's all for the transmitter, now let's go to receiver. Receiver is pretty complex because I did not compile this into my blocks. Now first, of course, we've got the Ev3 icon. This is for the robot itself. So if you ever press the center button on the car, it will stop the motor sounds and it will stop the program and return to the menu. This pretty much makes noise, and all it does is make realistic car sounds, and this will stop the motor sounds and stop the program when you press the center Ev3 brick button. There's a lot of multitasking going on here. We've got steering, so right here in Transmit Drive, where we had steering titles message coming through and throttle, it's all coming in right here. So it's receiving text steering, so when it receives title steering, it gets into this text block in which it deciphers the text block, and default is center, of course, because you don't want your car driving all left to right. And we've got left, right, and back. And the reason I'm using unregulated motor blocks is I found that they provide more power to the bricks, especially when you're using Bluetooth connection. A lot of people, I think, at least for the ones who try, they shy away from Bluetooth driving, even though it's really beneficial for long distance driving. Because when you use regular motor blocks, it doesn't provide enough power. It just doesn't for some reason. But unregulated motor blocks, I found it sends full power and it works really well. Return to center. For left, when you receive left message, you get steer left my block, and when you press the right brick button, which sends the message titled right, you get the steer right my block. We're going to go through these later. When you're not pressing the touch sensor, it'll send a message stop, which is pretty simple. Gets through here, Bluetooth connection receives the text, and it will stop the motors and just stop it. But I also have this set to brake at end false, so it coasts instead of braking at end. So when you've got forward, it moves these motors forward. So now we're going to go to the individual of these my blocks. So first let's go to return to center. Again, it resets the motor rotation for the medium motor block, and then it gets inputted into this test value. This is a range block, and it's set to inner bound, so the lower bound is -6 and upper bound is 6. Input's tighter so that there would be more accurate steering, but it does wiggle some because of the program is trying to keep it within this boundary, and it's pretty a small boundary. So that is why, if you may see in the videos, the steering wiggles a little bit after you get the input and hold off the input. Anyways, the resulting value gets inputted into this logic switch block. I got it set to flat view, so you got it easier looking into this. If it's inside this inner bound, the medium motor is set to off. So the brake at end is of course true, because you don't want all that going off the axis. But if it's not within the lower bound and upper bound, which is -6 and 6, it will go into this mode right here. It'll be classified as false, so it'll do some further adjusting to try to get it within this inner bound. So again, it resets the motor rotation, now set to greater than. So it gets inputted into this A value, gets inputted into this, and again, this is if I take this off, it's set to 1. That doesn't really matter because it doesn't matter. Resulting value gets into the switch block. Again, if it's within the interbound, it will go into this block, which means it will keep going on -60 percent power until it finds that the value is less than 6. As we've seen, 6 is right here, 6 right here. We want the value less than this upper bound 6. And if it's not within the boundary, it will go into this part. This is a reset block, so it'll reset the motor rotation again. And we've got the less than block, so it gets input into the A value. The B value is -6, which is the inner bound up here. Then the resulting value gets inputted into this logic block, and then we've got the motor rotation it wants to compare. So it will turn the motor on for 60% power until it finds that the value is greater than -6, which is the inner bound. So as you can see, this whole switch block phenomenon, it's all trying to keep the value within -6 and 6. Now we're going to go back to the receiver, and we're going to go to left. Now for left, we have the steer left my block. It's pretty simple. It's got a lot of some math blocks and such. Reset the motor rotation, and it wants to find the value greater than or equal to -45 degrees. The resulting value will go into this, and if it's true, if it's greater than or equal to -45 degrees, it will take the motor -60 degrees percent power, motor rotation. It'll compare the motor rotation, the degree amount, and if it's less than or equal to -45, then it'll stop. And again, if it's not, it'll just turn it off. Of course, the negative value means it's turning left. For my car, it is for turning left. And again, we're going to go to the steer right. It's basically the same thing, except the setup is switched around. Less than or equal to 45 degrees. This is now +60, and this is greater than or equal to +45. So basically everything just changed. I actually had this mode, I had this little special mode I've been working on, which it starts up and it goes through this really complex, really long program of selecting modes and progress bars and randomizers and a lot of stuff, but it got really big, and it just wasn't practical for the time being. may have wondered why all these programs have this NXT symbol that reads this blocker mode is not supported on the connected brick. You can see we've got a lot of those NXT icons, and actually when I told you I have no idea why, I do have a reason why. You can guess. We have NXT robots coming to our channel, Ultimate Robotics Network. So that is some big news for us, some big news for you. We've got some more creations coming along the way, and we really hope that you enjoy them. We're going to keep working on them, and we've got more robots on the way, so don't despair. If you have friends interested in robotics and engineering, please ask them to visit our channel, and please subscribe if you haven't, so that you don't miss out on these more robots coming along the way, Ev3 and NXT, which is big news. And we've got more programming walkthroughs coming along the way. So again, if you have any suggestions, please comment in the comment box below. And if you liked it, let us know. What did you like? What didn't you like? Do you have any suggestions for improvement? That is what we are asking. Thank you for watching this video again. And please subscribe if you haven't. Please share it with friends. May have use for this advice. And like it if you liked it. Again, if you didn't like it, then obviously you're gonna dislike anyways. But if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And we'll see you next time.